Bim! Guess what? We're live. It's bang on 8 o'clock and it is a Saturday. That can only one thing. It's what a week that was, 9th of September, 9th of the 9th, 23. And we're going to be looking at the news, etc. for the week. And I'll be honest with you, I feel absolutely awful. Just not been sleeping properly and it's so hot in here. So I'm not even drinking alcohol, I've got water. That's how bad it is. So yeah, I'm going to try and rattle through this as quickly as I possibly can. Hi Alan, hope you're good. So yeah, start off with the week's news, which started off on Sunday. Hello Angela, hope you're good as well, and the family. And yeah, on Sunday the government said they will pay to fix the schools, spending whatever it takes, but not saying there was more money. So you might have to take it from other parts of the school budget, which probably isn't a good idea. Whose fault is it? Well, it's all of them. Yeah, I feel like crap, Angela. Absolutely knackered. Not been sleeping because of the heat. So I think as soon as I've done this, I might have a lie down. I've just had a nap of an hour before I did this. So yeah, I'm on the water. Keep hydrated and all that. Anyway, meanwhile, Kyiv say a breakthrough through the Russian lines, and it looks like it is a truthful statement, but again, as I always say, take it with a pinch of salt, whatever the Kyiv say, because it is a war, and that's what they do. So yeah, that was that day. So Iraq, again, oh, it's the wrong week. It was a week since the air traffic controller, air traffic control thing back. Yeah, I've got the windows open, and yeah, I just feel absolutely dreadful. Iraq, how many schools and who is to blame? The school secretary apologises and then does a bit of swearing as well, which amused me. Although it's a bit of a trick by the TV crew, a bit similar to what they did to Gordon Brown when he said about that bigoted woman when he was driving off. They left his microphone on, recorded it, and then played it back. Can be blue, please. Oh, hiya Luke, welcome back. So yeah, all the governments in that era built schools and airports and hospitals and other buildings. So Iraq was everywhere. The fact it's not being picked up on is everyone's fault. Shouldn't have been there in the first place. But anyway, that's what they like doing. Meanwhile, in Northern Ireland, the chief constable resigns over all the issues that they've been having recently, including all the leaked bits and pieces of information, i.e. everything that they know. Kim Jong-un is going to Russia to meet Putin. It seems that Putin is desperate for more weapons, and you've got to be desperate if you go there, aren't you? I mean, let's be honest, Jesus. Then we've got the cabinet reshuffle. So the two at the top remain the same, but Lisa Nandy gets demoted, and we go down and down, and then we go back up again. I haven't figured this bit out yet, but just bear with me. Oh. And then we go to the next lot, and then we find Lisa Nandy on the second page. There she is, right at the top. So yeah, unfortunate, she's been demoted, and a lot of people in Wigan seem to be very happy about that. I don't really have an opinion other than I just feel absolutely awful. Meanwhile, heavy flooding in Spain, at least 3 dead. Just the irony that that's the area that was on fire a while ago, and the problem is if it burns all the grasslands, then you've got very little chance of stopping the rains because the water just doesn't get soaked up by the grass or the trees. On Tuesday, apparently I'm online, who knew? Birmingham City Council, apparently the largest one in Europe, has gone bust. The Wagner Group is basically put as a terrorist organisation. Anyone who joins it is facing jail time and also seizing assets, etc. 13 schools identified with the RAC schools, what was it? At least 15 schools with the RAC, and they had their funding cut in order to repair the RAC a few years ago, but whether or not it made any difference, nobody knows. Meanwhile, we've also got flooding in Greece again. It was burning a few weeks ago, and now it's flooding. And we're doing the opposite. We're not burning, but we are definitely hotter than we have been for a considerable length of time. And the ongoing saga of Wilco continues. Looks like there's no buyer for the whole thing, but it looks like B&M's are going to buy 50 odd stores, which makes no sense. I'd wait until they were free and then buy them. It's cruel on the people who work there, but it makes more business sense, because you basically, if you buy them, you end up with the issues of having staff and redundancies and stuff like that. Whereas if you let it go bust, it's someone else's problem. Meanwhile, there was an escaped prisoner. This young chap broke out of Wandsworth prison in London, and it's a nationwide manhunt. Daniel Khalif escaped under a lorry. Not that lorry, because that would be even more embarrassing, because that's a prison lorry. Meanwhile, the the father and stepmother of the young girl who was found dead in a house after they'd fled the country the day before release a very bizarre video, which makes no sense. Sorry. Civilians killed in Ukraine missile strike by Russia. Again, this is a shopping centre, many dead, and this is a target that is a civilian target. So once again, war crimes being committed. And 147 schools now have been confirmed of having RAC in them, and they look very modern buildings, so I don't quite know what's going on there, because that looks a really modern building, but apparently it's got RAC in it, so yeah, they've had to close them all down, etc, etc, etc. I don't know why I'm going so fast, because I don't feel well and I need to get this done ASAP. No, I'm not okay. I'm very, very tired and hot, and then I go cold, and then I go hot again, so it's just horrible at the minute. Anyway, it brings us to Thursday. The hunt is still on for the escapee, who it turns out is a former member of the British Army, and that is the video of CCTV of the truck that he escaped underneath. And at the bottom you can see there's a route that he took. How you get out of a prison through 2 security gates while strapped to the bottom of a truck wearing a white t-shirt and very white and bands, white and red pants is insane. But anyway, who am I to, you know, on them. Maternity unit in Nottingham under a police investigation over baby deaths. Nothing to do with the child murderer, but just to do with poor practices. So hopefully some of the parents will get what they deserve, as in answers. Chris Pincher MP resigns over his issues that he's been having for quite a long while, but it's not a great loss to anyone, I'll be honest with you. Meanwhile, in Japan, the J-pop company, Johnny, whatever it is, has apologised for the gentleman Johnny for carrying out multiple sexual assaults on young boys in order to get control of them in order to make them famous. And yeah, it's just not right. He's dead now, so he can't face justice, but the family's apologised and resigned. So yeah, so that was to do with the J-pop, innit? J-pop. I'm more scared in case he kneels over and falls off the chair. If I do that, I will. I'll pass away quickly. Thursday. That brings us to Friday. Good news is there's not a lot going in America or Australia, so we can rattle through this. And I'm not doing breaking news this week either, so I'm doing some cutbacks, and I'm rattling through this as well. I'm not doing any comments. I'm just saying what's happened. As soon as you put it off, then you know it's. Gets more difficult, doesn't it? Still on the run. That's the gear that he was wearing, and to be honest, at that picture he looks like he's about 12. But yeah, a lot of girls said online that he can come and sleep at their house, which, yeah, let's have a mass, well, to be fair, he's not been found guilty of anything. He's only been charged with spying, and he wasn't deemed dangerous to the public, but just don't approach him. Meanwhile, where are we? There are confirmed sightings of him. The UN says that the world needs to speed up the green agenda by going green. Freddie Flintoff, who looks like, I mean, I loved him in Top Gear and all that, and it was months ago, and he's still got heavy scarring on his face. He appeared for the first time in public at one of the cricket matches, and yeah, there's a picture of him. He looked like he'd had a stroke or something. He looked really poorly. So hopefully it's not as bad as it looked. Maybe he was just tired, but yeah. Meanwhile, Rishi and his multi-millionaire wife are in India for the G20 summit, Sunak, and they will be discussing with world leaders various different things. Greece, 3 days after the storm, at least 10 people are dead, but many are missing. Slightly worrying because I don't feel well, but COVID's back. There is a COVID variant, BA.2.86. 28 people in a care home have got it, but it's down south, not up north. And it's spreading quite wildly, but no one thus far has died from it, which is good news. Unlike, not from COVID to be fair, but Mike Yarwood. He's passed away, aged 82. Those of us of a certain age will remember him on a TV show doing his impressions of politicians of the time. Always seemed a nice guy, to be fair. But yeah, sadly passed away aged 82, which brings us to today. I'm getting in the spirit of it now since I've started leaning forward. Yes, I can't spell Saturday, but you know, let's not worry about that. Saturday, yeah, there you go. So yeah, that was Mike Yarwood. Today he was arrested. Daniel Wally, or whatever he was called. That's not him, that's Mike Yarwood still. Where is he? There he is. On a cycle path on the canal. Now yesterday I walked home along the canal, but it was the canal in London where it was found, not in the UK, so that's okay. Just happened fairly recently, a massive earthquake in Morocco. At least 1,000 dead, probably going to rise. There's a video showing people running into buildings that are actually collapsing, which is not a good thing at all. And then you've got Rishi and the other G20 people agreeing that there should be a peaceful outcome to the conflict in Ukraine, but they can't agree to say that it's a war, and they can't agree to say that Putin did an illegal invasion, because some of the people there are Putin's allies and probably scared to death of him. Anyway, that was the news. So I'm going like the clappers today. So next up, we've got Let's Go to America. What's going on in America? Not a lot. Again, not doing shootings. Hi, Smiley Mac. So yeah, it's American news. Joel Montana joins suit against San Francisco over sewage, water flooding ritzy neighborhood. NFL legend Joe Montana joined a group of fed-up San Francisco homeowners in suing the city after sewage-tainted stormwater rushed into pricey houses earlier this year. Nearly 60 plaintiffs said the city failed to make proper repairs to wastewater facilities. So yeah, it's very sad for him. Russian war propaganda film plays to empty theatres. Of course, this is pinch of salt time. The cinemas could be rammed full. You don't know. You'd be scared not to go to this thing. But anyway, according to the Western news media, no one in Russia is going to see a Kremlin propaganda film fictionalising and justifying the invasion in Ukraine. The Witness, which has premiered across Russia on August the 17th, has tanked in the box office, playing to empty theatres across the country. The movie, which follows a fictitious Belgian violinist who arrives in Kiev shortly before the Russian invasion, has grossed 40 million rubles, or about 145,000. It cost 200 million rubles, or approximately $2 million pounds to make the flick, so it looks like it's a box office disaster, but I think there's a lot of salt being thrown around. Yeah. Massachusetts calls up National Guard to cope with migrants as protests rage. Massachusetts officials are overwhelmed by arriving migrants and have activated the National Guard as they scramble for more housing, and groups say they have been pushed to the limit and protest abound. Again, same problem we've got. It does feel a bit of conspiracy theory, although I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it goes anyway. There is a lot of people controlling stuff that we don't know about, and they are basically watering down the national identity of many, many countries, including the UK and now America, at least. That's what it feels like. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, and obviously we're never going to find out unless I fall off out of a hotel window, in which case you know I was talking the truth. Mysterious 50-foot monster spotted in a lake in China. A tourist in China captured on video what is claimed is a 50-foot long silver monster breaching the water surface of a small lake, long believed to be the home of a mysterious creature that has drawn comparisons to the Loch Ness Monster. More of the Loch Ness Monster later, including proof that it exists. Yeah. COVID exposed Biden flouts White House mask rule as he stands just inches away from an elderly Medal of Honor vet. So Putin's wife has got COVID. She's isolating. He's obviously been with his wife. There is a mandate that they have to wear a mask, particularly if you're next to someone who's 81 years old, a veteran, and he didn't wear the mask and just breathed all over him. So yeah, here, have a medal, and have a free COVID as well. Why not? Supreme Court asked to decide if a police dog committed an illegal search by putting paws on a car. The Supreme Court could decide whether it is unconstitutional for a police canine to place its paws on a vehicle during a traffic stop. I mean, come on, the world is just going insane. It's a dog. And it was also said today that the police always touch the back of a car when they walk up to it in America, and probably in Britain as well, so that their fingerprints are on the car to prove that they actually were near the car. A three-legged bear named Tripod breaks into Florida home, guzzles 3 white claws. What a party animal. A three-legged bear who wanted to join in on the Labor Day weekend festivities was caught swiping white claws from a Florida family's outdoor fridge. The shocking video shows the black bear, affectionately known in the neighbourhood as Tripod, nonchalantly sauntering across the screen. Yeah, it's. They wanted a drink. Tripod wanted a drink. Design approved for memorial to the victims and survivors of the 2017 Las Vegas mass shooting. And then you go, what? 2017? That was 7 years ago. Biden blasts for walking out before the end of Medal of Honor ceremony and showed a lack of respect. So this is the same thing going on with the medals. He put the medal on without a mask and then just left halfway through the ceremony. Pranksters plant fake nudie sign on popular non-naked Chicago beach, which I think is pretty funny. It is not illegal to be naked anyway. It's ill-advised, but it's not illegal. So a bit of pranksters, and you know, why not? Prince Harry will never forgive King Charles for the hateful decision to remove his military title, says an expert. Well, the expert's talking crap because, let's be honest, King Charles will never forgive him for what he's done to the royal family. Camilla Harris says she may have to take over and is ready to do so, which is an ominous sign. For a start, do we really want her in charge of the country? Because, I mean, she's more likely to survive till the election than Biden, but still. 5 asteroids to pass Earth this week, including one as big as a house, but it doesn't say how big the house is. So it could be a small house, it could be a mobile home, it could be anything. Well, anyway, it's only passing by. Lawsuit to block Trump from running for president filed in Colorado. cites 14th Amendment insurrection. So the authorities are now backing down on Trump. Meanwhile, a rare find of a human skull with a fake eye was found, as you do, and is now going up for auction, as you do. Not. Portland City Council passes ban on hard drug use in public. Like, what? It's not illegal to use hard drugs in public in America. I mean, for God's sake. Washington State Deputy speeds through deadly wildfires. You're not getting me today, motherfucker, he said. And fair play, did exactly what I'd do, which is drive through it. Meanwhile, an owl got caught in a car's roof rack and looks very embarrassed about the whole thing, but it was rescued and it was okay. The fire department rescued it and it flew off and then got hit by a bus going past. Now, I'm only joking about that one. Military faces recruitment crisis as unpatriotic Gen Z fails to join up thanks to obesity and therapy ban. So yeah, a lot of the, I mean, our great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents will be spinning in the graves at the generation that we've currently got, who don't even want to do, you know, basic jobs, never mind protect the country. Yeah, we'll just try and stop people using oil instead, shall we, because that's worth doing. Russia hit with massive drone explosion and it attacks Ukraine port city for the 4th time. So the war is still going on in Ukraine. Passengers on board diarrhea plane share ordeal. It dribbled down the aisle and smelled horrible. Someone had explosive diarrhea on an aeroplane, and they weren't in the toilet at the time, and it basically flooded the cabin area and stunk to high heaven. We all know what diarrhea smells like. Ukraine accuses Elon Musk of committing new evil by thwarting attack on Russian fleet. A senior aide to Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Elon Musk of committing evil and being driven by a cocktail of ignorance and a big ego when he thwarted an attack on Russian fleet. Yeah, but he is a bit disgusting, isn't he? It does remind me of diarrhea on an aeroplane. Spanish soccer boss could face prison time for kissing women's World Cup player on the lips. I mean, talk about blowing something out of proportion. An apology would have sufficed. Yeah, it's just the heat of the moment, excitement, I think. But yeah, you're not allowed to do it anymore. Not that I would ever kiss anyone on the lips. I hate it. It's very unhygienic. Hurricane Lee explodes into Category 5 storm as it approaches the Caribbean, depending where you come from. Already a few hurricanes coming through this year, so I think it's going to be a year of many hurricanes. Kayla Lemieux quit former job at a Toronto high school following the Z-Boobs controversy, and you can see them there with a bit of a beard and not wearing the fake boobs. So why do they have to wear them at school with children? I think we shouldn't be allowed to work with children, full stop. Kim Jong-un's bulletproof train features entertainment by lady conductors. No, it doesn't say what the entertainment is, but I can imagine they don't punch his ticket. Couple demands refund after Singapore airline flight ruined by a farting dog. Now, what's worse? What would you sooner have? Would you sooner have diarrhea flowing down the cabin, or would you sooner have a dog repeatedly farting on the plane? I mean, it's a close call, isn't it? I think I'd just get out of the plane even if it was 35,000 feet up. And that is it for America. Yay! Australia. Not a lot going on in Australia, which is good. I've not done this on purpose because I didn't know I wouldn't be well tonight. It's only kind of crept up on me during the course of the day because I've not slept properly since Monday night because of the heat. The dog. Okay, Helen. So this is the question that Aussies are being asked, and that is, should all Australians now work a 4-day week? A short working week without loss of pay could soon be a reality thanks to artificial intelligence. So basically they're just squeezing everyone out slowly, like toothpaste. I feel the diarrhea guy and the dog were both doing it. Oh yeah, can you imagine both on the same plane? Oh dear. I'd sooner stay at home. Yes, dotty lady. Aussie warned of mango shortage. I'm in terror. Christmas might be a little less sweet this year due to a shortage of the summertime favourite. As mangoes need cool and dry conditions to properly flower, the unseasonably warm winter has meant there is a smaller crop of the fruit available. So the Aussies will be panicking because they can't have mango with their Christmas dinners. I mean, it's awful, isn't it? RBA, Royal Bank of Australia, makes no change to the cash rate, which is the interest rate. It remains at 4.1%, which is still higher than it has been for years, but it's been that for 4 months now. Plane diverted after diarrhea incident. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the aeroplane, says one of the pilots to air traffic control. How you can have, I suppose it's the lack of, yeah. Government declares war on feral cats in a bid to avoid extinction of native species. The Albanese government has today revealed a plan to reduce feral cat numbers, and Australians are being urged to have their say. Government actually asked the question of the people. What's that about? Is that Australia? Is that Australia? I think it's Australia. We'll go with it. Yeah, go with it. No, it's not Australia. We'll come back to that in a minute. Don't look at that. Close your eyes. Right, look at that. Look at that. There you go. Challenge pulled from stores. Paquet 1 chip challenge following the death of a 14-year-old boy. The creators of an extremely spicy tortilla chip that popularised a social media challenge is being pulled after the family of a teen boy blamed the stunt for his death, which, if it's true, is awful. Really bad. My son lives in Australia. He'll have to come home if there's no mangoes. Oh, you can always send him some. Just make sure. And that's it for Australia, which brings us to the and finally bit. There's quite a few of these, but I am rattling, as you can tell, because, like I said before, I'm slightly unwell. To be fair, I feel better than what I did, but I still don't feel great. I think that little nap I did was a good idea. So if you were fans of the Dukes of Hazzard, which I wasn't, I'll be honest with you, I was more of a Knight Rider kind of guy. Here's an interesting picture. Over 300 chargers were used to make the show. They crashed a bunch of them. Yeah, they had to. I mean, you watch the videos, you watch it when it jumps, and then you see it land and the whole car just disintegrates, and the next thing you know, the next shot, it's, woo, going hell for leather. Hell for leather. Meanwhile, is Putin dead? The real Putin hasn't been seen for a year and can't even get out of bed. The health and well-being of Russian President Vladimir Putin has long fascinated onlookers globally, but has reached new heights since Moscow invaded its neighbour Ukraine. So, is he not even able to get out of bed? I know he has lookalikes. This is stuff that makes me go, haha, or Cassettes had a side A and a side B. It's only logical its successor would be CD. Get it? Get it? A, B, C, D? Yeah. An entire estate of 263 properties has been constructed without proper planning permission. Homeowners face their new builds being torn down after a planning blunder. And I think that's what the guy who organised it is thinking at the moment. But NATO declares war on Russia due to interpreters' epic blunder at a Putin meeting. Turkish leader Erdogan declared war on Russia, according to a translator, leaving tyrant President Vladimir Putin confused at the summit in Sochi. Yeah, no he didn't, it was just bad translation. I took on the Hot Ones vegan wing challenge. My mouth felt like a volcano. Well, do you know what a volcano feels like? The Hot One challenge took place in Leeds last week, hosted by the Chili Shop Leeds and Cult Wings, sharing outrageously hot sauces, some of which only celebrities have tried. No idea who that guy is, but anyway, he tried it and he didn't like it. Iconic blood-drinking vampire Dracula was actually a vegetarian, say boffins. Of course they do, because boffins are idiots. And let's be honest, they weren't there. What do they know? Missing MH370 jet seen in Cambodian jungle on Google Maps. An amateur sleuth says, no. That was years ago. You won't be able to see it if it was on there, and it wouldn't be in one piece. Mad. Inside the foul Burning Man apocalypse as man dies and World War one disease spreads. Organiser of the Burning Man stopped 73 people from leaving the festival after a horrific, unexpected weather system took hold, with revellers told to conserve food and water. It's basically trying to replace Woodstock, etc. Brits from UK's One Keys pub flogged for £50 each on a first come first served basis. No doubt they'll be tracked down and put back in place as and when. Kremlin claims Ukraine army is a danger to self with mental disorders and HIV. Remember, they were all super gays a couple of weeks ago. Now they've got HIV. New COVID strain rips through UK's boffins and bits. We know nothing about it, but they've done nothing about it either. So yeah, brilliant. Well done, guys and girls. A man finds twitching mouse in takeaway soup. I thought it was a mushroom. Peter Andre breathes a sigh of relief because he actually works there. Actual scientists say UFOs and aliens are real and we're being deadly serious. No, we're not. You're just talking out your posterior. This is an oldie but goodie, but might cheer us up a little bit. Baby with a massive arm, massive bloke with a tiny arm. Yeah, I know, it's an old picture, but I saw it and I thought, you know what, that's actually quite funny. Then Rishi Sunak, you'll have to get off, love, we're turning this bus into a classroom. Genius, whoever did that. Then you got this weird thing here, which is a three-eyed dinosaur shrimp waking up in the desert after Burning Man flooding. Three-eyed crustaceans lay their eggs deep in the ground and can lay dormant for many years until floodwater stirs them and brings them up to the surface. It does look very peculiar. You know, it's probably got some horrible disease that's going to wipe out humanity as well, but never mind. Christmas stuff on shelves during late summer heatwave baffles hot shoppers. There's going to be something like that on tomorrow in the vlog, which I filmed in Tesco in Staley Bridge on Tuesday. Not even joking. Vaping could shrink testicles and lower sperm count, study warns. I'd be more worried about it giving me lung cancer than shrinking those, because does anyone actually measure the diameter of your bits? I don't know, asking for a friend. Burning Man flood that trapped 73,000 people was God's judgment, a senator says. I mean, what absolute nonsense. These people are in charge of places, it's just a joke. Frozen humans could be brought back to life in just 70 years, an expert claims. Yeah, what could possibly go wrong? Apart from the fact that everything could go wrong. Cops left rattled after wrestling a 12-foot python seen slithering down a UK street. It was in the Black Country, and the police rescued it and took it to I assume, some kind of shelter for bewildered pythons. Sleuth proves Putin is dead with key clues from moving mole to sagging chin. Well, we all have a sagging chin. It's like, oh no, got a sagging chin. Yeah, it's just called age. It's not the old thing that sags. Fred and Daphne and Shaggy, can you name one of Africa's big five animals? Right. I know you do, Scooby, but it's not your turn. See what they did there. Just want to do a Scooby impression. Sorry. The FIA, hiya Toff if you're on. Extreme E and the FIA announced plans for first ever off-road hydrogen racing world championship. They've been watching my weekly vlogs and thought, you know what, hydrogen, that's the real future. None of this crap off-road battery racing where there's like 2 cars left. Absolute nonsense. So yeah, the Federation International, lead automobile, FIA, and Extreme E have signed the agreement to create the first ever hydrogen off-road racing world championship, Extreme H, which will host its inaugural season in 2025, with intention to make the step to an FIA World Championship from 2026. The pathway also outlines that in 2024 Extreme E would be recognised as an FIA Championship, but Extreme E is extremely boring. Just saying, hashtag. Then we go back to this. This is for BMW drivers who have dark coloured BMWs. If it ain't blinking, no, it ain't blinking for shits and giggles, and it's pointed to its indicator. Blinky turny thing, no, blinky thing means turning. Yeah, very good. Then we've got government orders police to locate escaped prisoner, but not too quickly, as the much needed distraction from the concrete thing, which is always very good. You can always rely on them to come up with something. Do you want to stay up all night? Well, if you want to, you can now get noodles with caffeine in them. Not even joking. Caffeine added noodles. I mean, come on. What is next? Do you want to see Wayne Rooney in a wax museum? Well, tough, because that's what they're claiming is Wayne Rooney. And I'll tell you what, it ain't. Meanwhile, the quote hottie. I can't believe people fancy it, but anyway, what can you do? Escaped terror prisoners, hiding spots exposed. Well, I can see one of his spots there, but it's not a hiding spot, it's just his nip. But anyway, it's like, why would you show a picture like that? Makes no sense. But they don't do it once, obviously, because it's the Daily Star, so we'll see that again very shortly. This is obviously before they caught him. Possessed woman lifted exorcist with super strength and arms like concrete. Sadly, for her arms shattered because it was made out of rack concrete, and the priest, exorcist guy, was okay to carry on. See what I did there? Yeah. Conspiracy theorists think world is ending. 3 major signs. The end is nigh. Yeah, I think we've heard about that since, well, since ever. A bloke who correctly predicted Queen's death doubles down on King Charles' warning. Can you imagine someone actually guessing that the Queen was going to die, age 96? I mean, God, must be genius. Orny fans of terror suspects say Hottie can hide in their bed. Oh, not in the house, in their bed. I mean, sorry, he's got the body of a 5-year-old. That's just weird. Next up, Nostradamus predicted Charles will abdicate throne to a mysterious king. No, he didn't. Absolute nonsense. You can make anything sound like it is. Yeah, the world's ending again. And get this, the asteroid hit by NASA in a Save the Earth test room is behaving mysteriously. Who'd have fucking thought? You hit an asteroid that's been travelling for millions of years, and now you send it off course. A year ago, they fired a fridge-sized spacecraft to help save mankind, but a school teacher and his students notice it's acting strangely, which is what I said at the time, leave these things alone. It's just NASA trying to kill everyone. Maybe that's what Nostradamus was on about. I'm a Queen lookalike, but no gigs since she died. I can't think why. Well, I've got a clue for you. And Nessie, absolute proof that Nessie does exist. Remember, we've got all these people, all these high-tech cameras, you know, 4K and 8K and a bazillion pixels and all that kind of thing. So here is the ultimate proof that Nessie exists. There you go. Loch Ness Monster Hunter spots head, neck and black hump before the creature darts. Yep, I'm convinced now that the Loch Ness Monster exists. And finally, a Banksy. I like having a Banksy. Genius. You've got to love Banksy. So I went to that exhibition a while ago and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, there you go then. So 38 minutes. And I think I'm going to leave it there because I do feel pretty rough. So yeah, average view is 12 minutes 33. We've had 18 views, but I've only been on for half an hour, which is not unusual. 3 likes, chat rate of 1. Most people were viewing, 10 people a little while ago. So yeah, that is it. Thank you very much for watching, if indeed you still are, and I will see you all again next time, hopefully feeling a bit better. I'm going to go and maybe have a power nap or something. Anyway, thanks for watching, I'll see you again next time. Until then, bye! Oh, I can shout out to everyone. So T, Smiley Mike, Luke, Angela O'Kane, Alan Barton, Dotty Lady. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, did well not throwing up. So yeah, I'll see you next